It was a normal June day on the farm in southeastern South Dakota, the 7th to be exact. The crops had been planted, and by early June, like every year, they were needing to be sprayed.
He went and got the sprayer ready, filled the sprayer, got that ready.
Greg McCann's 35-year-old son, Grant, had come back from a job in California a few years back.
I told him that if he wanted to come back and help us here, he's more than welcome, and so he did.
To work on the farm where he grew up near Yankton.
He enjoyed being back here.
And that June day started like most others.
After he got the sprayer ready and conditions were right, well then he went to spray. He called me to see if I'd move an irrigator for him. That was the last time I talked to him. He entered the field, and the driveway into the field went under the power line.
He didn't go far enough into the field. He was at an angle with 90-foot sprayer booms.
Apparently when he was unfolding them, that the boom touched the power line.
Grant was caught in a very dangerous situation. The boom was in the energized line. Instantly, the tractor was electrified. Grant tried to call for help.
He tried to call Wayne, the young man that runs my farm, and he wasn't able to get through because there was so much static. And so we don't know what happened after that.
The sprayer was caught in a Bonham-Yankton Electric Cooperative distribution power line. A co-op electrician was just a few miles away when he and his apprentice got an outage call.
And a radio call had come across that another neighboring farmer was out of power, as it started out as an individual outage. We packed up our tools and stuff and left the yard, and as we're leaving the yard, I received another phone call from a supervisor saying that we got a call that there's a sprayer that looks like it might have made contact with a line. That'd probably be the first place to go, and it's looking like we got more consumers that are off.
They didn't know what they might discover, but knew they had to move fast.
As we're rolling up on scene, the one neighbor was there sitting on the road with his four-wheeler. He just said, someone is down in front of the tractor.
The worst scenario imaginable. And when you live in a rural area, you know just about everyone, where they live, what land they own, which makes a situation like this even harder.
It was very tough to see, other than you could see someone was there but didn't know who it was, and at that particular time I knew it could be either Greg, Grant, or my cousin Wayne. And so in all that, you're mentally preparing yourself for what you're about to discover or find.
What they would discover is that Grant McCann made a mistake that would end his life. Rather than staying in the cab and waiting for help, Grant had stepped out of the sprayer.
The consequences of that mistake. I took my only son. He was my friend, my partner, my confidant. Now, every day, I remember that terrible morning, and I see Grant lying dead on the ground. There's no fix. There's no second chances. I don't want anyone to have to experience the sadness and the emptiness that I and Grant's family and friends are experiencing and will experience for a long, long time.
No one can know what was going through Grant's head at the moment he left the cab, but Greg wants others to learn from that mistake so it doesn't happen to anyone else.
If Grant would have stayed in the tractor and not touched anything, I think he'd be here today. But he didn't. People get into a hurry and they don't regard the risk as a risk, and one mistake and it's too late. The consequences are so grim and terrible that there's no good reason to not be really careful and be aware of where you're at and the machinery that you're using and where it's located. Is once it's done, there's no turning back. Grant's death has changed so many lives forever. I don't want anyone to have to go through this. So if it'll just save one person, that's worth it.
Do you know what to do if a vehicle you're in contacts a power line? First, stay in the vehicle and call 911 for help. If you must exit the vehicle because of a fire, tuck your arms across your body and jump clear of any wires with your feet together, never touching the equipment and the ground at the same time. Then shuffle or hop at least 40 feet away with your feet together. Remember the steps. You could save your life or the life of someone you love. Visit poweringyoursafety.com to learn more.